check.
You are a religion. You're not a nation.
Okay, let's.
You can't tell me what we are.
Let's take a little break, guys, and listen to some of the other discussions that have been coming out of this region. Thursday's bad weather grounded Bush's helicopter, so Bush had to drive to Ramallah from Jerusalem, taking him through Israeli checkpoints. Well, one reporter asked the US president about his experience en route.
I can understand why the Palestinians are frustrated driving through checkpoints. I can also understand that until confidence is gained on both sides, why the Israelis would want there to be, a sense of security. Checkpoints create frustrations for people. They create a sense of security for Israel. They create massive frustrations for the Palestinians. You'll be happy to hear that my motorcade of a mere 45 cars was able to make it through without being stopped. But I'm not so exactly sure that's what happens to the average person.
Well, Samih, I want to pick up with you. When we find, as we're listening to statements that sometimes come out of political leaders and they seem sometimes a little detached from reality, what is your responsibility, if you think you have one as an artist, to try and provide some kind of reality check?
I'll respond to that, but if I get the opportunity to react to what Itamar has said, because it was
very briefly, because we don't want this to be
pure pedagogy.
In an argument.
First of all, the way Itamar has talked till now is very, very paradigmatic and representing the way Israel is behaving in this region. Very machoistic, very chauvinistic, the way of the powerful.
Right, let's not get too personal. Let's focus on the bigger issue.
I need to go. It's not personal. He's saying, let us put history aside. We did not, both Palestinians did not talk about history, but talking about history, 1999, Ze'ev Herzog, he was the chief archaeologist in Israel for years, for decades, has written an article in Haaretz, and he called it, "The Holy Land is not holy." It is now obvious to most of the archaeologists in Israel, among them as well Israel Shachak, leading archaeologist as well, that the Holy Land that the Zionist movement talked about is not existent here. This is the first thing. The other thing is, he's talking about Palestinians who are, please let me talk. He's talking about Palestinians who are allegedly, who have allegedly the same rights in Israel. But 20% of the populations of Israel is Palestinian, but they are not allowed to buy or hire any land of the Keren Kayemet, which is in possession of most of the land in Palestine. These people were killed since 2001.
But if this is the kind of the discussion here, that you can say facts that are not true.
Okay, I think we want to
basic facts that are not true, because the Keren Kayemet holds 15% of the land. This is so it is so ignorant to say a thing like this.
I think
and the chairman is Arabic, by the way. He's from Arabic descent, which is kind of funny that the chairman is Arabic and he doesn't wish to sell to Arabic families. It's a joke. No, I'm twisting the reality to say we hold.
Let's move beyond that. And Itamar, I want to ask you, do you think, as artists, and you're an intellectual, obviously, you're a writer, that you have a role to play in education?
Yes, and I must say, just for the
So what do you educate the Israelis through your columns?
I will try to make it really brief, and I will just give you the whole picture. Most of my life, I'm 31, almost 32 years old. For most of my life, I was a member of the Communist Pro-Palestinian Party. I was a hardline Marxist. I believed in things that I cannot agree with them anymore, and I'm, thanks God, a reborn Zionist. It was a long procedure, but I understood I'm not a right-wing Zionist, but I belong to the left-wing center Zionist movement, and I believe that my role today is to tell to the youth in my country that they have to be proud of being Israelis. They don't have to feel no guilty feelings, because I grew up with guilty feelings about this so-called occupation and so-called historical crimes. But I don't feel like that anymore. I don't agree with these terms anymore. And I feel that my role is to teach my people, about their own history, and about the reasons that brought us here, and the reasons that are going to keep us here.
Before time runs out, I want to come to Iman now. Do you agree with those who say that perhaps what you have here is a collection of people living in little cultural bubbles, not only between Palestinians and Israelis, but within even Israeli and Palestinian society? As Itamar was pointing out, he's gone from being a left-wing Marxist. You look at the sort of lifestyle people have in Tel Aviv, it doesn't compare to even what Israelis live here in Jerusalem. Is there any really cultural common ground?
Listen, for the Palestinians, there were always cultural background and a unity. Whether you like it or not, but the fact is, in Palestine, there were always Jews, and they were always part of the Palestinian community, and they were always respected as neighbors and as part of the community, and they are always welcomed. But the thing is, the external immigrants, the Jews who came from Poland, from Russia, from Europe mainly, they have came because this is a war about it's about power and about colonialism, and therefore
they came
now
for colonialist reasons.
For a colonialist reason.
After the Holocaust of the Jews, they came to conquer.
We did not cause
but
the Holocaust.
What
I'm
it
sorry.
doesn't matter. It was a movement that had a colonialist
Again, guys,
issues.
I did not finish.
It's a joke.
I did not finish.
Really, to say like this.
I did not finish. Let me just finish
It's
my...
impossible.
Yes.
No, we are welcome here as paying taxes to the Muslim authorities. The jizya we have to pay. This is, like this we are welcome.
Okay, let me finish first.
Iman, please finish very briefly.
Yes, and therefore we are now trying, and the whole world is trying to push with the Zionist movement to push us into sectors and small groups and ethnic groups to make the whole issue of Palestine as if it is a bubbled issue. And this is what President Bush is now coming to give more power to the Israelis and to try and give doctrine.
Okay. Let's can we just pause it for a second? The discussion at this point. Iman
they belong to the same people.
They don't, but they shoot each other in Gaza. No, the Hamas occupied Gaza.
Okay,
from
guys,
Fatah,
really,
not from us.
Let's take a step back.
Either we talk politics or we talk culture.